What's up everybody and welcome back to Belfort Street. My name is Julian and today we're going to be making the spicy pasta dish spaghetti all'arrabbiata. We're going to add some roasted peppers to the sauce. I quite like it because I think it gives the sauce a little bit of a different texture and flavor profile. For this we're going to place some whole peppers on this metal rack here on top of my gas burner, and I will be going to slowly turn them as we go along. I must advise you to please be very careful when using this cooking method, or alternatively you could just take the peppers, slice them in half, put them skin side up on a baking tray and drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil and roast them in the oven at 200 degrees under the broiler until the skin starts to blacken. We're also going to be adding a couple of long red chili peppers, since after all we're going to make a spicy sauce, right? So good little tip for this is before you put them on the fire, just prick them with the tip of a sharp knife in order to prevent any steamage inside of them building up and potentially let them explode. Once the peppers and the chili peppers are nicely blackened, we are going to remove them from the fire and place them in a bowl, which we are then going to be covering with a layer of cling film. This will let them steam in their residual heat, making our lives much less miserable later on in the process. Now, while the peppers are resting, we are going to make garlic confit, aka garlic cooked in oil at a low temperature for a longer period of time. Why are we doing this? It is because it will give the garlic a more mellow and sweet flavor. For this, we are going to peel a handful of whole garlic cloves, trying to keep them as intact as possible to prevent them from getting too dark too quickly when we are going to cook them later on. To a small pot on low heat, we are going to add a good amount of olive oil, and I would say about 200 to 300 milliliters. To the oil, we're going to add our peeled garlic cloves and bring the oil up to temperature, I would say not much more than 80 degrees Celsius. While they are cooking, give them a good stir and let them bubble away until they turn to a nice golden brown color. You can take them out and give them a little bit of touch. If they feel soft, then they should be ready. Once you find the garlic is ready, take them out of the pot and put them on a chopping board and mince them finely, and then put them in a small bowl to reserve for later on. By the way, please do not throw away the oil you just cooked the garlic in, because this makes a perfect companion for example pastas like pasta aglio e olio, or basically you can use it for anything. It will make anything taste good. Okay, now remember those peppers from earlier? Now it's time to get rid of their peel. I recommend using gloves for this, since we are also going to be peeling their little spicier cousins, the red chili peppers. And I guess we all know how that can go. Private parts and such, you know. Once the skin is removed, and by the way, it doesn't matter if there are still some tiny little bits of skin left, just leave it as it is. Clean up your cutting board and start chopping the peppers. Now, while I usually cut any vegetables roughly the same size as the pasta shape that I'm using, in this case the pasta are spaghetti, so just cut them into small bite-sized pieces and that should be fine. Next, we are going to be cutting the chili peppers, and yeah, you could also use gloves here. In a large enough pot, bring some water to the boil, add a good amount of salt, and then add about 80 to 100 grams of pasta per person that you are serving. Give the pasta a good stir and cook it according to packet instructions, but please cook it a little bit less than the time that is on the package, since we are going to be finishing the pasta in our sauce. In the meantime, put a large skillet on medium-low heat and pour in 2 tablespoons of that garlic oil we made earlier. To this we are going to add 2 anchovy fillets and roughly a tablespoon of capers, while we are letting the anchovies dissolve in the oil. Next up are our roasted chilies, which we are going to stir in and slowly fry. Then add the roasted peppers and mix everything well together. Now we're going to add the chopped up confit garlic that we made, and I have to confess that I later on realized that I forgot to give this whole thing a good pinch of salt at this moment, so please do that. I think it needs it. Now in goes a teaspoon of fennel seeds, 1 to 2 teaspoons of chili flakes, and that is depending on how spicy or arrabbiata you want your sauce to be. Then half a teaspoon of oregano and our famous sugo pomodoro. If you didn't get a chance to purchase our sugo pomodoro yet, you can also use canned tomatoes instead. Just remember to adjust the seasoning accordingly. Now if the sauce appears to be a little bit on the thick side, feel free to add some pasta water to loosen it up a little bit. Let it bubble away on low heat for about 5 minutes before adding our pecorino romano cheese and then some finely chopped parsley. Now give this whole thing a stir, and when ready it's time to add our pasta. Like I said earlier, I think it's better to get the pasta a little bit earlier out of the pasta water and let it finish cooking in the sauce. Mix until the pasta and the sauce are well combined and then add more pasta water if needed. If it's a little bit too dry, more pasta water, it will not hurt, it will actually make the sauce better. Now, when everything's ready, we're going to take our pasta and place it neatly, or in any way you want actually, on a plate and finish with some extra pecorino and parsley. And there you have it, spaghetti all'arrabbiata, my way. Maybe not the most traditional way, but I still hope you will enjoy this recipe. Einen guten wünsche ich euch alle, vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen, and I hope I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao.